So Mark Gurman's given us some pretty confusing tidbits regarding the M2 MacBook Pro, so let's delve into it. But first, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. And with that being said, let's just tuck in. So what exactly does Gurman tell us? Well, he says that yes, we should expect a new version of the base MacBook Pro to launch later in 2022. And yeah, that is to be expected. Gurman himself has mentioned this in the past, so yeah, that does make sense. However, the additional tidbits Gurman gives us in this report is what's really confusing. So to differentiate this MacBook from the higher end versions, Apple's going to downgrade the storage and the processor of this Mac. However, like those MacBooks, the touch bar is also going to be removed. Now, for those wondering if the design is going to be based on the higher end versions, that's not going to be the case. Gurman has previously said the design for the most part is going to be the same. In fact, what I think Apple's doing is actually giving us recycled versions of the 2017 base MacBook Pro, because back of course when the touch bar design was new, the base models did not have the feature, they came with regular function rows, and so Apple could be implementing that for the M2 MacBook Pro. However, let's now delve into the confusing part, and that's regarding the display on this Mac. So Gurman pretty interestingly says this MacBook's gonna have an LCD non-Pro motion display, so basically this is gonna be the same display we have right now. Now, by no means is this a bad display, it's very decent, but of course it's gonna pale in comparison to the higher-end models with their pretty insane mini LED Pro motion displays. But what's confusing is that the MacBook Air is rumored to get a mini LED panel. This has been mentioned by various sources, and so it's interesting that Apple's gonna give the inferior Air model mini LED and the superior Pro model the same LCD panel we have right now. And well, that just makes no sense to me because the Air has always been below the Pro, and so if it's getting a redesign and the mini LED tech, why not give the same treatment to the base Pro? And yes, I know that Apple doesn't want to cannibalize sales of the higher end models, and that's perfectly fine, but they could still give us mini LED 60Hz panels with maybe lower brightness on these entry-level Macs. Since, like I said, while the LCD panels are fine, they're of course going to be way inferior to mini LED, so I do think it's about time the whole MacBook range gets mini LED tech. And yeah, without mini LED and a new design, the M2 MacBook Pro is kinda pointless. In fact, I've ranted about this in the past, but the base Pro no longer has a purpose within the MacBook lineup. Since of course in the Intel days when the Air was severely underpowered, having a base Pro was pretty nice, since Apple did need a relatively affordable laptop that offered pretty good performance. However, as everyone knows, the M1 changed the landscape. This made the MacBook Air a beast, and this suddenly became the machine to buy for 99% of Mac users. And we know the M2 MacBook Air is going to be even better, so why give us a base Pro as well? Really, the only justification there is that there are some consumers who see the Pro branding and instantly thinks it's a better machine. But even with that, I think the base Pro is going to be a hard sell, because once you see the new MacBook Air alongside this base Pro, you're going to instantly notice the Pro has a much older design and a much worse display. And also, I do wonder how pricing is going to work, since we do know the Air is going to see a price hike. Even if it does not see mini LED, it's going to get a new design, and that's going to increase the price, and so this could go up to $1,200. And well, right now the base Pro's $1,300, and so the Air going up in price could push the price of the base Pro up to $1,500. And well, that's going to be a terrible deal, because do remember Gurman says this is going to offer inferior storage compared to the higher end models, and so that most likely means this is going to get 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, and well, by the time you do upgrade RAM and storage, you're going to get to the price of a 14-inch Pro, which is going to have a new design, mini LED, Pro motion, and also better performance. So yeah, all this information's pretty confusing, and I still don't understand why Apple's even bothering giving us a new version of the base Pro. But guys, tell me in the comments below, do you think it makes sense for Apple to release an M2 Pro? Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the video in the card above on details regarding Apple's VR headset. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya, peeps.